Hey everyone, First T here. Thanks for checking out this YouTube channel.
19 months ago, Tiger Woods decisively showed the world what determination and grit and resiliency can accomplish with winning his fifth green jacket. And the scene on 18 that Sunday, with you embracing your children and the thousands of patrons chanting your name, was seen by many, if not most, that this was probably one of the most remarkable, exceptional comeback victories in all of sport. Would you take us back to Sunday, April 14th, as you're getting ready to tee up
about it, yeah.
on round 4, 2 back, and what the kind of the range of emotion was during that round?
Well, it was just a fight and a grind, and just trying to hang in there, trying to make a dent in the lead. Frankie basically had control of it, and then number 12 happened, and everything flipped. And four guys hitting the ball in the water there, and I made par there, birdie 13, birdie 15, 16. So, that was one of the most, I'm still getting chills just thinking about it. Feelings, coming up 18 and knowing that all I had to do is just two-putt that little 15-footer, and, to see my family there, my mom and my kids and all the people that helped support me or were there for me during the tough times. And I was walking up there just trying not to lose it, and I said, hey, I still got to two-putt this. And then when I walked off the back of the green, to see Charlie there and just open up our arms, and it meant a lot to me, and it still does. And just reminded me so much of me and my dad. And to come full circle like that, it still gives me, a little teary.
One follow-up question to that is, this year marks the 25th anniversary of your first appearance in the Masters. Any thoughts or memories or things you'd like to share about that first visit?
Oh my God, that was I got a chance to play on Wednesday with Jack and Arnold, and at the time, I was a little punk college student, and we're playing for some skins, and I didn't have any cash in my pocket, and Arnold makes a putt on 18, takes all the skins away from us, and Jack and Arnold asked me, hey, do you want to go play the par 3 contest? And I said, I'm scheduled to go later. Hey, just follow us. And I went over there with them. We went over to the par 3 contest. We played together, and that was awesome. And that was one of the most incredible memories I think that I've ever had. And then the story that I always tell all the amateurs that I've ever played with, on number 1, I putted off the green on my first hole. Put it right in the gallery, and playing with Ollie, and chipped it back up there, made the putt there, and it would have been a hell of a bogey, and then just pumped it right over the top of that bunker on 2, and then started my Masters.
We're now delighted to open up the questions. We'll start with Daniel.
Tiger, because of unique circumstances in the world, you've been the reigning Masters champion for an unprecedented 19 months. What's that experience been like?
Well, it's not how I wanted to retain the jacket for this long. Obviously, this has been an unprecedented circumstance we're all dealing with, and it's been incredible to have the jacket, and to have it around the house, and to share it with people. But to have it this long, it's not the way I wanted to have it. I wanted to earn it back in April, but obviously we didn't have that. But we have an opportunity to play this week, which early in the year we didn't think we'd have this opportunity. So we're all very fortunate to be able to compete. And tonight, and this whole day is awfully special, because I may never have the opportunity to take the jacket off property again. And so this means a lot to me today, and to have this opportunity to have the Champions Dinner and to be able to host it tonight with all the guys that are here. It's going to be awfully special for me.
Bob?
Tiger, 6 events since the restart. I'm guessing you're probably not happy with your results. I'm just wondering, can you pinpoint what's been missing? What's kept you from contending?
Well, Bob, it's been either I haven't put all the pieces together at the same time. Whether it's I've driven it well and then I've hit my irons poorly, or I've put the ball striking together and I haven't putted well, and then I've had it where I've putted well and I've hit it poorly. It's just been, I haven't put everything together at the same time, and I haven't played a lot. Obviously, you mentioned I've only played 6 events, but it's been, gearing up for the major championships and trying to understand what we have to deal with, this year with COVID and trying to be safe. And I was hesitant to come back and start playing. That's why I waited as long as I did and came back at Memorial. And from there, I really haven't, as I said, haven't put all the pieces together, and hopefully that'll be this week.
Jim?
Tiger, statistically, you look over your career, the first round has not really been, your numbers are pretty pedestrian. When you look at all your big rounds, the second, third, and clearly the fourth. You've broken 70 once, I think, at the first round. Just curious, do you have a mindset here? Is it just ease yourself into the tournament, or is it, I don't know.
Jim, it's,
How do you explain it?
I wish I could have, I could pinpoint and tell you what it is, but I haven't historically, started off well here. But I think the times I have shot 70 in that first round, I've gone on to win a few of them. So, it's just one of those weird things that I just haven't put together. And the second and third rounds were usually I've made my hay and got myself back into the event, or taking the lead in the event. Hopefully this year will be different, and I can shoot a little bit better score and get off to a better start.
Alan?
Tiger,
Yeah.
a lot of talk about honorary starters this week. 30 years from now, it's probably going to be you and Phil. How does that make you feel thinking about that?
Well, you said 30 years from now? And that's a long time. The fact that I had an opportunity to watch Byron Nelson and Sam Snead tee off there, and then to see Jack and Arnold and Gary, now to have Lee start next year. Whether it's Phil and I down the road, or whatever it may be, it's up to the chairman, and it's an honor. I mean, that's you start off the Masters, and hopefully that I'll be us one day, and I'll be hitting bombs past them.
We have a remote question for you, Tiger.
Yes.
In this unusual situation, it took 19 months to come back to Augusta, and now you will have less than 6 months until your next Masters. How do you prepare for that mentally and physically?
Well, this year's Masters, it's different. We've never played it in the fall. This is the grass is different. The conditions are different. The run up to this event is different. Normally we have the forward swing and gear up for the Masters. This year's very different, and it's a quick turnaround time. The fact that Augusta National is going to host the next 2 major championships is awfully special for all of us, and who have the opportunity to play. And unfortunately, I won this event, so I get to keep coming back.
Thank you. Barry?
Tiger, you're both able to talk about 2 decades of experience and pull stories like playing with Jack and Arnie back then, but you're also the defending champion. Where do you feel like you are on that continuum? Certainly not a ceremonial player, but do you expect to contend here for this week and years to come, or are you past that point where it's annually possible?
Well, expect to contend? Yes, I do. Look at Freddie and Bernhard. They're in their 60s and they seem to contend. Jack contended here when he was, 58? Or 56, 58, whatever it was. It can be done. This is a golf course in which having understanding how to play it and where to miss it and how to hit the shots around here, it helps. And the golf course keeps getting longer, so it gets a little bit more difficult. As I've gotten older and I don't quite hit as far. When I first came here, it was a lot of drivers and a lot of wedges. Now it's a little bit different, and a little bit longer clubs into the holes, but still understanding how to play it, it definitely helps. And that's one of the reasons why you see past champions, like I had mentioned, Freddie and Bernard, be able to contend so late in their careers, and hopefully I'll be one of those guys.
Good. Tara?
Hi, Tiger. Your win last year was so dramatic, right? And meant so much to you, to the game, so memorable on so many levels. And a big part of that is the galleries and the fans.
Yes.
and the way they lift you and root for you. I know this is hypothetical, but do you think you're playing this year without them? Could you have won it? Would that have happened without them? Is it going to be very strange for you this year not having them? Did they help you last year?
Absolutely. They helped me. They helped me win. They helped the support that I had, the energy that was around the property. It was electric that day, and we all miss the energy of the crowds. And yes, this year is going to be very different. It's going to be stark in what we see, our sights into the greens, the energy that you hear from different roars from different parts of the golf course. I mean, you're on a putting green up on 1, and you can hear eagles down on 13. That's what this tournament is all about. And we're not going to have that this year, and it's going to be very different. And it's one that none of us have ever experienced. And so we're all going to go through it together at the same time, and it's going to be a very different experience, and hopefully one that I can figure it out and be able to replicate what I did last year.
Steve?
Tiger, after you won the Masters last year, you told us that you had found something. You had found your swing coming into the Masters to be able to hit the draws and shape the shots. Have you found that this year coming into it? And basically, what do you think about the state of your game right now?
Yeah, I was working on a few of the things I was working on in the last year, coming into the event, be able to hit a high draw. My body's feeling better than it did last year, so it was a little bit easier to hit those shots. Hopefully this year, I'll be as consistent as I was last year. Last year I was able to hit a lot of really good iron shots, and I putted great. I had a great feel of the greens. Today I did a little bit of work on the greens, just like I did last year. I took Tuesday off and didn't play. Tried to get a feel for the greens, and the greens were a little bit slower than I had expected. But with the rains coming up and the forecast, you just never know. That's one of the neat things about trying to figure this tournament out is Wednesday to Thursday, this golf course changes a lot, and what the committee does, and hopefully I can get the same feel as I did last year and put it all together.
Sam Farmer, please.
Tiger, going back to 1995, your caddy that day, a local gentleman, said that he asked about you playing with one sleeve of balls, and he was concerned about that. And after the round, you handed him 2 fresh, unused balls, correct, and you had played in one. Do you remember that? It looks like you might. And anything about your relationship with that particular caddy on that day?
Well, I didn't really, as I said, in college, I really didn't have a whole lot of golf balls. I didn't really switch golf balls that often. That's, what amateurs do. That's we played with a lot of balls, and we, hopefully don't hit the ball in the water, and we be able to keep it for the entire day. And now, do I remember those exact details? No, but that definitely sounds like me. And I haven't been one that really switches balls that often. You know, that's especially, you know, then, as I said, you know, when you're in college, we get, our coach would give us a dozen balls, you know, per event. Otherwise, we didn't have any new balls. So yeah, you saved them.
We have another remote question submitted by Bernie McGuire of the Irish Star, Tiger. Tiger, you tweeted your delight about Lee Elder being named an honorary starter in 2021. Can you speak to the announcement yesterday and your relationship with Lee?
Well, Lee was a pioneer. You know, he was the one that, you know, broke the color barrier here and was paved the way for, you know, players, you know, of color to, like myself, to be able to play this event. And, you know, it's ironic that he did it in 75. I was born in 75. And then when I won in 97, he was on the back of the green. And so to have him here yesterday and to be able to see him and to have him as our honorary starter is awfully special and important in the history of the event. But also for me personally, it's probably even more special.
Thank you, Tiger. Stephanie?
Who are you able to have with you here this week?
I'm sorry?
Sorry. Who are you able to have with you here this week?
Sorry?
Who, with all the restrictions around who can be here, who are you able to have with you here?
Oh, yeah, I have my girlfriend and Rob, and so that's it. Mm-hmm.
Mark?
Hey, Tiger, over here.
Yeah.
Just with regard to Bryson, a little, I'm wondering how much you see what's going on with him as a flashback to kind of when you came on the scene in '97, and with all the length and everybody trying to catch up to you, and what your fascination is about what he's done and you know, to transform himself to where he's at right now.
Well, back then, there wasn't the technology to optimize our tee shots and optimize the driver yet. You know, that we were just coming out of, you know, basically the persimmon days and coming into metal. More guys were switching over to graphite instead of steel, and the wound ball was, you know, very spinny. So, and the heads were very small. So it was important to hit the ball in the middle of the face. Well, I happened to have speed, and I happened to hit the ball in the middle of the face, and was able to, you know, have a little bit of an advantage over the guys. But, you know, now you have the ability to optimize one club and be able to use that driver as a weapon to hit it and basically as far and as you possibly can. We just didn't have the technology to be able to optimize that. And Bryson he's put in the time, he's put in the work. I mean, what he's done in the gym has been incredible. And what he's done on the range and what he's done with this entire team to be able to optimize that one club and transform his game and the ability to hit the ball as far as he has and as short a span as he has. It's never been done before. You know, I had speed, and as you say, in '97, I hit it far. And, you know, as I got bigger and I filled out and tried to get stronger, it was to not hit the ball further. It was to be more consistent and be able to practice longer. And actually, I got a little bit shorter, you know, as I got into my mid-20s and late 20s. Probably the most speed I ever had when I was 20 years old. So, you know, 21, I still had a little bit more speed, but as I got a little bit bigger, and I didn't hit as far, but I got better. What Bryson's done has been absolutely incredible, and we've all been amazed at what he's been able to do in such a short span of time. It's never been done before.
Jeff?
Tiger, there's a lot of shots around this golf course that can make a player a little uncomfortable. Where does the tee shot at 12 rank, and why is that hole so confounding?
Well, you know, some of you guys were out there yesterday and watching us play, and at the time we had it into the wind off the left, and I was debating about hitting an 8-iron, and then it switched, and I was going to hit a wedge, and I ended up hitting a 9-iron, and that was only in a practice round. I've hit wedge to the front left pin. I've also hit a 6-iron to that hole, and so it's one of those holes where you can't. There's no other hole that's like that. That's as simple as it looks. A simple little, as I said, wedge to 7-iron, but it's amazing in what pressure will do, what the angle of the green, and just the tournament, what the shots that we hit. And hey, I've done it. I've hit the ball in the water. I've hit the ball in the bunkers. I've hit in the bushes. I've been everywhere on that hole. So yes, it's one of those confounding holes that you just really can't explain.
Jimmy Roberts?
Tiger, hi. Can I just go back to last year for one moment? Obviously, it was very important to you for a number of reasons. You've had a lot of highlights in your career, and I guess naming, one win that's more important than another would be like asking somebody to name their favorite child. Is it possible to rank what last year meant to you?
Well, I think that 97 was probably the one that stands out as, obviously, but with my dad and his heart surgery and coming to the Masters and winning my first major and the way I did it. But last year was more emotional in a different way, just because of the struggles I've had. And I had never, ever won a major coming from behind. And here I am in a threesome, which we had never done before, and on the final day, and we've never teed off that early. These were all a lot of never happened before. My kids were there, and it was just so special and so emotional in a different way. As I said, to come full circle from me being with my dad and now seeing my son there and the same embrace. 22 years apart, it's just pretty good bookends.
Daniel? Nothing. Cameron Morfitt?
Yeah, Tiger, you mentioned, way in the back here.
Yeah.
You mentioned course knowledge and how important it is out here. Phil had a funny anecdote where he was saying to Justin Thomas that once Phil is done competitively, he's going to share a bunch of stuff that Justin would make Justin borderline unbeatable. Are you going to have to wait till you're done competing out here to share knowledge on how to play this golf course?
Well, first of all, he's never going to share that. We share tidbits as as past champions, but also we keep a few things too. That's I had the opportunity to, as I said, to play with Arnold and Jack, and they were fantastic. I've been able to play here with Sevi and with Raymond and the short game stuff that they've issued over the years, but also they held a few things back, and but also then again, that's all the years of experience and playing under different conditions and different experiences and different circumstances. That's just something also that you just have to go through, and there's only been one first-time participant champion. That was Fuzzy in '79. And so it just doesn't happen. It usually takes a little bit of time to understand how to play it, play practice around with the guys, pick their brains, but also, we keep a few things.
We have time for two more questions and one more remote, and the remote comes from Ann Lagoria of WFAN. You referenced the Champions Dinner tonight. What is your favorite memory from all the past Champions Dinners?
Well, to see Gene Sarazen, Sam Snead, and drinking milkshakes. That was awesome, and just to hear the stories of all the guys over the years. I mean, the stuff that we say in the dinners, stays between us, and that's the most awesome part about it is we keep it in house and keep it within the family, and they're awesome stories, and a lot of things I can't say here that have been said, but they're awesome.
Great. Rex?
Tiger,
Yeah.
can you talk about how different it's going to be teeing off on number 10 to start you a week and how that might change the way you play that 9?
Never been done before, so that I think when Jack finished in his last Masters, he had the tee off on 10 and finished coming up 9, and this whole year has been very different for all of us, and for us to be able to have the ability to have this event and play this event, early in the year, we weren't looking like we were going to have this opportunity. The fact that we have the opportunity to be able to play, the fact that we're going off 2 tees, I think it's irrelevant. The fact that we have an opportunity to be able to play and compete for the Masters again is an awesome opportunity.
Last question will be from Bob Herrig.
Tiger, obviously it looks as great as it ever does, but it sounds like it's going to play a little different. You were up here a week or so ago, and now again. What's different? Is it there's more Bermuda, and what does that mean? How will that affect you or the?
Yes, there is a lot of Bermuda around the greens and on the whole golf course in general. The rise, it's a little bit spotty in places, and the ball is settling down a little bit. And generally, around the greens, we have the ability to play bump and runs or play more spinning golf shots. That's going to be a little bit different this year. The ball's popping up on us a little bit and rolling out, so it is different. I've been up here in the fall a few times and have played it, and it's been like this, but we've never played a Masters like this, so it's going to be very different for all of us. And some of the shots, around the greens are going to be a lot more challenging than they have been in the past, trying to figure it out, especially with the forecast we have coming in. It's going to be, a little bit more, fuzzy, around the greens. And some of the shots, some of the guys have switched wedges, this week and gone to more bounce. To try and figure this out, and so it's going to be challenging for all of us.